The state of Georgia is the latest to have the federal government warn against a new bill that requires drug tests for some food stamp recipients if there is a suspicion of drug use.
But with nearly 46.2 million people on the government handout, isn't some check necessary to curb against the abuse?
Well, here to weigh in is the host of Varney and Company, Stuart Varney. Good morning.
Good morning, Anna.
So, obviously the concern is that you can't punish the kids for the parents doing something dumb, right?
Okay.
So instead, they have an answer for that, and that's that another adult can get the assistance and help the kids instead.
Don't you think that if you want something from the government, if you want free food, shouldn't you give up a little of your privacy and be drug tested? And look at it the other way around. Shouldn't taxpayers be able to say, hey, you better quit this destructive behavior, otherwise we don't give you free food?
But other states have tried this.
Yes,
and
they have.
And they've failed at it.
Wait a second. In Florida and Utah, legislation was passed that you had to have a drug test before you could pick up welfare benefits.
Right.
When that was in place, in force, in Florida, for example, between July and October, 1,600 people just decided to drop right out of it. They didn't want to take the test. They didn't want to be tested. They didn't want to find out they'd been taking drugs. So, in a sense, it worked. It is the courts that have reversed it by saying that is an unconstitutional search. You're not allowed to go and search people by demanding a drug test in return for free food.
Well, over the last 4 or 5 years, the number of people who are receiving food stamps has never been higher. I mean, it's at an unbelievable level.
It is.
Do you feel it has become so easy, people who should not be getting food stamps are?
I feel that the Obama administration has pushed food stamps, pushed it onto people. They advertise, come on in and get it. You need it, we've got it,
I mean,
you
people
can have
who
it.
don't even need it, just come on, it's out there, we're paying for it, you might as well take it.
Buying votes, it's buying votes. How else do you explain 46 million people right now, more than 46 million, are receiving food stamps 5 years into a so-called economic recovery? It's buying votes.
The argument, though, is that this is unconstitutional. You can't force people to get these drug tests, and yet states have passed legislation to allow the free use of marijuana. So can't they also pass legislation to force you to get a drug test? Not in Georgia.
Not in Georgia.
True.
10 states have legislation in place to demand drug testing. 22 states are considering this. But given this ruling, and this came from the Agriculture Department, not a court in this case, in the case of Georgia, it's the Agriculture Department, they're saying, no, you can't do that. So it's a part of the administration that's saying, don't do it.
All right. Stuart Varney, before we go, 70 years ago today, your father was?
Yes, he was at Normandy. Yes, he was. He was in the Royal Navy. He was on a minesweeper. They swept the English Channel before the Armada came over. The night before, he sailed back to England with the Armada coming right at him. He went right the way through it. He said there were ships everywhere, thousands and thousands of ships coming to the beaches of Normandy. He was there. That was my dad.
70 years ago today.
Yes, sir.
All right. Stuart, we're going to be watching your show.
Thank you very much.
11 o'clock.
Thank you.
This morning over on Fox Business.